How's it going, boys? And welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to do something a little bit different, kind of a what if type of a series, which I'm really inclined to do. I want to do a bit different stuff, not just NHL Be a Pro all the time, but if you are looking to watch some Be a Pro, we are in the Memorial Cup of that one. But today, we're going to do a what if series. So today's question is, to start off this new series, is going to be, what if the Edmonton Oilers didn't have Connor McDavid? As all of you know, Connor McDavid, a generational talent, one of the best to ever do it, probably when it's all said and done, and probably the best player in the league right now. But what if the Edmonton Oilers don't have him? How will they perform in the regular season? How will their stats change from when they do have him? Today we're going to find out all of that and more, so be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions or anything you want me to do in the future. I'm going to reconvene with you guys every so often throughout the series to see how the Edmonton Oilers are doing as a team and how Connor McDavid is doing as a player. And then we will simulate the entire season again and see how the Edmonton Oilers do without Connor McDavid, so we can compare and contrast. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright boys, here we are, 20 games into the season for the Edmonton Oilers. They have 26 points and they're 12-6-2. They have great offense at 3.3 goals for per game and 3.05 goals against per game. That they want that to come down a bit. They have the second best power play percentage in their division, and they have a bad penalty kill, to be honest, 84%. Well, it's not bad. I mean, they're above the 100% mark, which is where you want to be with your penalty killing. And in the last 10, they're 6-4-0. In the entire league, they are 10th in the entire league at 12-6-2. So that's what we like to see. They're doing well so far. They are comfortably in a playoff spot. Well, maybe not comfortably, but they are in a playoff spot right now. So let's look at Connor McDavid's stats. All right, here we are. And surprisingly, Connor McDavid is not the Edmonton Oilers' leading goal scorer. And it's by quite a bit, to be honest. Leon Draisaitl is leading the team with 28 points. He's going to need to continue that pace when he doesn't have Connor. But for now, you know, the Edmonton Oilers, they're playing great. Connor McDavid, 24 points. He's logging, how much ice time is he logging? He's logging 22 minutes a night. Draisaitl is logging 23 almost. And he's got a 15% shooting percentage, 55% on the face-offs. And yeah, he's just having another great season like Connor McDavid does. I'll catch back up with you guys halfway through the season. Alright boys, here we are halfway through the season for the Edmonton Oilers, and they have 47 points. They have 22 wins, 16 losses, and 3 overtime losses. Their goals for per game has stayed the same, and their goals against has come down a bit. So they're progressing a little bit, I think. I think they're still in the exact same spot that they were before, third in the division. And where are they in the entire league? They are... Oh, they've dropped. They're number 12 in the entire league, so they dropped a little bit, fell off a bit from where they were at the start. But let's look at Connor McDavid and the rest of the team's stats. So here we are, once again, Leon Draisaitl is leading the team in points with 50. Connor McDavid's down here with 47. The rest of the crew, Reinage and Hopkins, about point per game. Evander Kane down here at 29 and 38. Hyman in 21 and 38. And even Jesse Puljujärvi in 21 and 41. So getting some good production from the guys. I wonder if that will drop off a little bit once Connor McDavid's off the team. Between the pipes, how are these guys doing? Smith, 21, 13, and 2 with 5 shutouts. I mean, yeah, he's 8.99 is way low from where you want it to be. You know, they're getting about the same goaltending that they got in real life. But hey, we'll see you guys probably around the trade deadline to see if they make any moves to maybe make a playoff run. Alright, so here we are past the trade deadline now, and it looks like the Edmonton Oilers are exactly the same. They might have made a small move that I'm not quite seeing. Maybe Derek Ryan they brought in, but I thought he was maybe no, he's been here the whole year. So yeah, I don't think they've made any moves on defense. We still have Darnell Nurse, Tyson Barrie, CC, Keith, Clefbaum, and Evan Bouchard. Yeah, I think this is the exact same team. And between the pipes, we have Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen still. So the Oilers, they decided to not make any moves. The solution to this team is going to have to come from within. McDavid, Draisaitl, these guys are going to have to step up in the playoffs. And I'll also show you guys where they sit in the standings. So this is a very interesting development. Here we are past the trade deadline, and the Edmonton Oilers are outside of a playoff spot. They have 65 points. They're 30, 27, and 5 but they're sitting outside of a playoff spot. Granted, they have 2 games in hand from the LA Kings, but let's see where... Wait, no, not the Atlantic, the Central, right? Yeah, let's see. So these 2 teams right here both have 66 and 67. The Oilers are sitting at 65. Okay, so they're very close to a playoff spot, but nonetheless, they are outside of the picture. In the entire league, they're sitting at 18th in the entire league at 30, 27, and 5. So they're really going to have to pull something out of their hats. They got to buckle down and score some goals, play defensively. I don't know, do whatever they have to do. But these guys have got to make it into the playoffs here with Connor McDavid. Oh my God, this is absolutely insane. I don't know if I've ever seen a first year simulation in which the Edmonton Oilers don't make the playoffs. Neither do the Calgary Flames, but the Seattle Kraken somehow do. This is absolutely insanity. So with Connor McDavid on their team, the Edmonton Oilers missed out on the playoffs, and they didn't just miss out. They missed out by like 20 points. This is unbelievable. They missed out by, okay, 90 there and 91 here. They missed out by 15 points. That's absolutely unacceptable with Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid on your team. You have to make the playoffs. The Anaheim Ducks made the playoffs. This is like completely backwards from the modern day NHL. This is crazy right now. So, hey man, all the Edmonton Oilers have to do to beat the Oilers with Connor McDavid, the ones without them, all they have to do is make the playoffs. So let's look at the individual stats of the team, but this is wild. And here we are. So the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid, he garnered 84 points in 82 games. Leon Draisaitl got injured, but he still played 77 games and had 78 points. Nugent Hopkins dropped off dramatically since the halfway point of the season, having 59 points in 80 games instead of almost point per game. Like, this is kind of crazy to me. Evander Kane with 54 and 78. Puljujarvi fell off. Well, actually, he didn't really fall off. He's about on pace for what he was before. But all of these players are a minus. And I think one of the major factors of that is, between the pipes, Mike Smith goes 31, 32, and 6. He gets 7 shutouts for the boys. But he's an .893 save percentage, even with 7 shutouts, and he's a 3.24 goals against average. Mikko Koskinen isn't really doing any favors for them either. And this looks like the Edmonton Oilers without Connor McDavid are going to do better than the ones with him. Maybe this was just a weird simulation, but maybe not. And maybe the ones without him will finish last in the division. Actually, I didn't even check that, so we should find out where the Edmonton Oilers finished in the league. And in the entire league, the Edmonton Oilers finished 28th out of 32 teams. That is astonishing, and that is brutal, getting paid, like, with Connor McDavid getting paid like $12.5 million. Maybe they will be better without him. Now, obviously, I'm kidding. In the real world, Connor McDavid, an absolute superstar, a generational talent, as I said before. But, man, in the simulation, they only had 75 points. They were below 500. Maybe with the overtime losses. Okay, whatever. They're below 500, and that is something to kind of be ashamed of if you're on the Edmonton Oilers. Like, you guys got to be simulating better than this. But hey, let's jump into the simulation without Connor McDavid now and see if they can do better than this team of Edmonton Oilers. Alright boys, so here we are in the second season of simulation for the Edmonton Oilers. It's the exact same roster, except this time they have a massive hole in Connor McDavid. I almost forgot his name, the whole reason we're doing the video. So here on the first line, we have Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, and Evander Kane here. On the second line, Jesse Puljujarvi, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and William Fogle. The third line consists of Ryan McLeod, Derek Brassard, and Kyler Yamamoto. And on the fourth line, Josh Archibald, Kyle Turris, and Derek Ryan. Back in defense, we have Nurse and Barry, Bouchard and Keith, and Clefbaum and Ceci. Between the pipes, Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen. So it's the exact same line, just with a massive hole in Connor McDavid. But we're going to see if this Edmonton Oilers team can actually beat the one with Connor McDavid and actually make the playoffs this time. That's all they have to do. So we're going to find out, and I'll see you guys in 20 games. All right, so here we are 20 games into the Oilers season, and they have 20 points. They are 10, 10, and 0. Maybe if they can get some overtime losses in there, they might be able to, maybe climb their way up. But Their goals for per game have taken a drastic hit at 2.20 compared to, I think, above 3 last time. But their goals against is actually better, I'm pretty sure, than it was in the first simulation. Their power play percentage is worse, and their penalty kill percentage is really, really, really good. So these guys, I mean, I'm not sure if they'll make the playoffs, but all they got to do is beat 28th place. And currently they're currently sitting 20th or 21st in the entire league with their record. So let's look at their individual stats. So here we go. Leon Draisaitl's almost point per game, still 19 points in 20 games. Evander Kane looks like he was hurt for a game or something, or so. He has 15 points in 19 games. Nugent Hopkins with 12 and 20. Puljujärvi with 10 and 20. Hyman with 10 and 20. And then the rest of the crew tagging along down here. Between the pipes, are the goalies playing any better? They must be. Yeah, Mike Smith is playing amazing. 10-6-0 with 3 shutouts and a .935 save percentage with 2 goals against average. Get this guy out of the net. 0-4-0 with an .875 save percentage. And wait for it, 4.27 goals against average. Never play him again, guys. Like, Mike Smith, get another backup. But these Oilers, they're right in it with their twin brother of the first simulation with Connor McDavid. So I guess we'll see what they do halfway through the season. So here we are halfway through the Edmonton Oilers' second season, and they have fallen below 500, much like the first one. They are 18, 19, and 4 with 2.20 goals against average and 2.20 goals for per game and 2.63 goals against. Their power play is continuing to take a hit, and their penalty kill also dropped off a little bit. They're creeping around that. I think they're 99.9% overall. So, I mean, they're not bad special teams. Just 5-on-5, they're getting absolutely killed without McDavid in there. So, in the entire league, they're 26th. So, they're getting close to that. Yep, they're only 1 point away from tying where they were before. So, they really got to buckle down and win some games here. But let's look at their individual stats and see what's going wrong. All right, so here we go. These are their stats. Leon Draisaitl is almost point per game, 38 and 41. I think he fell off a little bit. Evander Kane is 33 and 40, and Zach Hyman is 25 and 40. They're all plus, so that line's doing well. Nugent Hopkins, 23 and 41. Puljujärvi, 21 and 41. Derek Brassard is their, 6th leading goal scorer? Yeah, that's not a recipe for success. Darnell Nurse on whatever his contract is, 5.6. Maybe it's it's an extension, maybe? Yeah, whatever. He has 12 points in 41 games. Goalies, Mike Smith, he fell off a little bit, 917 with 2.54, and Mikko Koskinen learned how to stop a beach ball. He has a .918 save percentage and a 2.63 goals against average. See, I'm not really seeing any glaring errors. I would assume it's just 5-on-5. They can't really keep up with all these other teams, but hey man, I think they have a shot of beating the first simulation, but I'll see you guys at the trade deadline. All right, boys, here we are. We are past the trade deadline now. No more moves can be made, and it looks like the Oilers made one, although I looked through the lineups real quick, and I didn't see anything they got back for it. But you'll notice, I don't think Evander Kane's on this team anymore. We have the first line of Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, and Hyman. That second line of Puljujärvi, Derek Brassard, and Warren Foegele. The third line of Ryan McLeod, Derek Ryan, and Kyler Yamamoto. And then that fourth line of Archibald, Turris, and Cassian. So no Evander Kane. Their defense looks the exact same, I'm pretty sure. Nurse, Barry, Bouchard, Keith, Clefbaum, and Ceci. And between the pipes, they still have Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen. So I'm not really sure what they're thinking. Maybe they don't want to make the playoffs. They're tanking for the next Connor McDavid or something like that. So, you know, they moved out Evander Kane presumably for some picks. But let's see how the team is doing as a whole. So as a whole, the team has actually improved pretty dramatically. They were below, well, maybe not that dramatically, but they were below 500. Now they've crawled their way up above NHL 500, although they have 11 overtime losses, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess. They're 26-25, and they have 11 overtime losses, as I just said. Their goals for per game is a pitiful 2.39. Their goals against is pretty strong, though, 2.66. So it seems like Connor McDavid brings more offense, but maybe he's the fault for more goals or something? I'm not really sure. I'm just trying to make sense of the EA simulation system. Over here, we have a 16.8% power play that's gone up and an 87% penalty kill that's gone slightly down. In the entire league, the Edmonton Oilers have climbed a few spots, and they're 22nd in the league with their record. So doing better than the first simulation with Connor McDavid, which is really, really interesting to me. I feel like it was just a bad simulation, but hey, what can you do about it? You get one season, you don't get do-overs in the NHL, so you're not getting do-overs here. Individually, everybody's point totals have taken a hit, I've noticed. So Draisaitl has 57 points in 62, Nugent Hopkins 41 and 62, Hyman 40 and 61, Tyson Barrie with 28 and 60, and Darnell Nurse with 27 and 62. So, then we have all these guys down here. Between the pipes, we have Mike Smith up at a 914 save percentage and a 2.62 goals against average. Mikko Koskinen might be taking that spot from him, even though I chirped him earlier on in the video. He has a 924 save percentage and a 2.45 goals against average. So they're getting good goaltending this time around. The first simulation they were not, but they're still barely above 500. But here we go, the final stretch. Let's see if they can beat their first simulation. So here we are at the end of the second season of simulation. The Edmonton Oilers, without Connor McDavid, were 1 point away from being in a playoff spot. They finished 38-31, and with 13 overtime losses, they had 2.57 goals for and 2.66 goals against. Their power play increased, their penalty kill decreased. If I were an Oilers fan, I would consider this a massive victory of a season. I mean, you didn't really make the playoffs, but with a team like that, the Ottawa Senators up here at 9th overall, by the way. That's just kind of wild to me. And here we are, the Edmonton Oilers finished 18th in the NHL with their record, beating out the first blip, the first Thanos snap of EA land, where Connor McDavid hinders the Edmonton Oilers, as they had pretty much the exact same team. Actually, they didn't even have Evander Kane either. So the Edmontons trade away, well, let's say they trade away Connor McDavid and Evander Kane. They get nothing in return, and they have a better season. How does that make sense? I'm not sure. But let's take a look at their individual stats. So here we are, and Leon Draisaitl is leading the way as expected in a point per game season, better than his season with Connor McDavid. So that's one thing to note. But I think the rest of these totals are less. 59 for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 51 for Hyman, 41 for Barrie, Derek Brassard, Jesse Puljujarvi, Darnell Nurse is down here with 37. And between the pipes, they had good seasons. Yep, Mike Smith, 35, 25, and 11 with 8 shutouts. This guy's a shutout machine. He's 915 save percentage and a 2.64 goals against average. Mikko Koskinen, 3-7 and 2. But he's a 928 save percentage and 2.39 goals against average. So he really turned his game around. And maybe, this is a factor for the Edmonton Oilers. They do better than their simulation with Connor McDavid. So what have we learned today? Connor McDavid's a bust. He hinders his team more than he helps it. And I'm obviously kidding right now, but this is just goes to show you that EA simulation, it makes no sense. The Ottawa Senators at 9th place in the league, making no changes. Connor McDavid not on the team, and they do better. Like, it's so wild to me. These were two weird simulations, but hey, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Anything and everything, good and bad. Constructive criticism always helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.